Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed my cover of Mortal After All by Architects. This is the first song that I'm doing off of their new record, Holy Hell, that wasn't released beforehand as a single. I really am enjoying listening through that record. I've had it on repeat pretty much since the album came out. So because of that, you can definitely expect a few more songs off of this record as covers coming up in the future. That being said, let's get you learning this song. The important things you're going to need to know, of course, tempo and time signature. The tempo for this song is 154 beats per minute. Time signature is 4/4. It's super straightforward. There are no time signature, no tempo changes through the entire track. I will be performing the sections as usual, first at the tempo of the song, 154 beats per minute, and then I will be slowing each section down and going back through at 125 beats per minute. The first section we're going to tackle is the intro of the song. This section is fairly straightforward. The only challenging part in the section is the fill taking you out of the section. There's a snare roll that goes on that can be a little bit challenging. Here's the intro now. Okay, sweet. So just before we move on out of that section entirely, I wanted to break down that snare roll once more for you guys here on the pad. The reason why is after I watched my own demonstration at 125 beats per minute, I felt that picking out the sticking and the accents might still be a little challenging for some people. So I'm going to slow it down even further, just freehand with no click, just so you can get a better grasp of what's going on. So I'm first going to play it around the track tempo, but I'm just going by feel. As I said, there's no click. So that was the entire fill. The last strike on the pad represented the crash cymbal coming out of the fill. So that's the sticking for the entire snare roll. I'm going to play it twice more for you, slowing it down each time. And once more, even slower. Now, that's not perfect in time to a click like it is in the actual demonstration, but I'm just hoping that in case you were struggling with it, watching the demonstration and watching the cover, that this might help clear it up and make it a little bit more apparent on what's going on in that part. Sweet, so moving out of the intro of the song, we're going to go into the first verse. This part's really cool, really drivey. There's nothing really too challenging about this section. The only thing I'm going to say, there's a really cool splash accent at the end of the section. Take note on what's going on with my right hand. I'm dropping the dominant cymbal that's been playing throughout the section, and I'm putting that note on the splash cymbal and then going back up to an accent crash and then playing the fill. Here's the first verse now. After the first verse, we're going to transition seamlessly right on into the first chorus. These choruses are a little bit untraditional for the direction that Architects has been taking up until this record, simply because the snare placement is in full time throughout the entire chorus. Very drivey, and I love the way it feels. Here's the first chorus performed for you now. Okay, cool. So coming out of the first chorus, we are going to go into the first post-chorus. The post-chorus is exactly the same as the intro. So if you got the intro down already, then you'll have this section no problem. Here's the first post-chorus performed for you now. After the post-chorus, we're going to move on into the second verse. The second verse is a bit of a variation on the first verse. This time around, we're going to be in half-time snare placement, which means that there's going to be half as many snares. There's also some really cool cymbal work going on in this section. Here's verse 2, performed for you now. Just as seamless as verse 1 got us into chorus 1, we are going to roll through verse 2 right into chorus 2. The second chorus is different from the first chorus. The primary differences are really just in the fills. We're going to add some notes to the fills, and that's about it. The general structure, though, is pretty much the same. Here's chorus 2, performed for you now. After chorus 2, we've got a bit of a dropout. After that dropout, we're going to go into kind of like a build-up section into the first breakdown of the song. This build-up section is kind of cool, and it reminds me of one of the sections that I learned back when I was doing my Gone with the Wind cover. In the cover video, I performed this open hand with my left hand on the hi-hat, my right hand on the snare drum, because most drummers, especially in the early years of drumming, are going to play closed hand with their right hand on the hi-hat and left hand on the snare. I will be playing it closed hand just so it's a little bit easier to reference and pick out as you go along, but you can play it either way. It doesn't really matter. Cool, so after that build up, we're going to go into another dropout, but this dropout is half as long as the first one was, and at the end of the dropout, we're going to hit with the first breakdown of the bridge. You could essentially say that this breakdown is the entirety of the bridge. This breakdown is fairly complex simply because of where we're dropping our ghost notes and accents and things like that. We're all over the map. There's not a whole lot of 4/4 straightness to this section. Here's the bridge performed for you now. Okay, awesome. So after the bridge, we're going to go into the last chorus, chorus 3. Chorus 3 is different from chorus 1 and chorus 2. None of the choruses in this song are the same. Chorus 1 and chorus 2 are fairly similar to one another except for the differences in the fills, but chorus 3 is almost an entirely new section. We start off very similar to chorus 1 and 2. However, it's quickly going to transition into a halftime feel with accents in different places, and the fills coming out of the section are going to be different as well. Here's chorus 3 performed for you now. Sweet, so the last section of the song, we've made it. We have the final outro. The outro is a variation on the bridge. The first half is a full-time variation where there's going to be more going on, as well as a faster China pulse. And then when we get to the center line of the section, of the phrase, it's going to go back into a halftime breakdown, almost exactly the same as the bridge breakdown. Here's the outro performed for you now. Okay, sweet. So there it is. We made it. Thank you so much for checking out my cover and my lesson video on the song Mortal After All by Architects. The next cover I do that I will be releasing next Wednesday will be off of Holy Hell again. And then the following week after that is going to be a cover from another artist. So I've done Mortal After All this week. Next week, there'll be another Architects song. And then the following week after that, there's going to be a different band. I want to take a break from Architects just for a minute before I get back into doing some more Architects songs in the future. But you will see a lot of songs off of this record coming up in the coming weeks. As always, you guys can connect with me further at any of my social media pages. You can find links to those on the screen for you as well as in the description below. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys soon with something new.